Hey guys, this is Martin Perdomo, the Elite Strategist, and I'm here with Lisa Mangru. She is, we are members of the same mastermind, and today we want to share some good news and good vibes with you as we're going through these challenges and these trying times. We've been kind of doing these every day, and we just want to empower you and encourage you and bring good vibes and good news to you on this day. So Lisa,
Yes.
today we're gonna talk about a few things we can do to get clear, right? To get clarity, to set our goals when this thing is all over, or even during this thing. Do you want to share with us some strategies or what are your thoughts on some of the things we can do or people can do to set some goals during this time?
Yes. So goal setting is very important. Even during this time when things seem a little bit crazy and hectic, we should still be setting goals. And one of the most important things when you do set goals is to write them down. We've got to get clear on the things that we want, the outcomes we want. And I guess one of the first places to start is, first we need to kind of, quiet ourselves, quiet our own thoughts, quiet our surroundings, and really think about the things that we want. And once we start thinking about these things and we start to see a clear vision, it's very important to write them down.
Okay, so you said write down your goals, quiet our thoughts, and
Yes.
once we see a clear vision, it's very important for us to write it down. That's really sound advice. Every great leader in history, every historic movement that has ever been done always first started with a vision. And even the great book says, without vision, people perish. Without
Yes.
vision, people perish. So we need vision, ladies and gentlemen. We need a positive vision for our life. Earl Nightingale said, if you think, no, I'm sorry, not Earl Nightingale. Yes, Earl Nightingale said, I'm sorry. Earl Nightingale said, a man is exactly where he is because that's exactly where he wanted to be, whether he admits that or not, ladies and gentlemen. And that to me, that means that things happen in two places. You see things first in your head, and then they kind of actualize in the physical realm. So for starters, Martin Luther King, when he had a dream, what was that? That was a vision. He had a dream speech, right?
Right.
JFK, when he talked about landing on the moon and seeing Americans, we wanted to be the first on the moon. That started with what? That started with a vision. He had a vision. Steve Jobs with iPhone and the iPod right? The iPod, the little one with the music. That was
Yes.
Steve Jobs, his engineers, and talk about Steve Jobs when they were creating that in the early 2000s. They talk about how he would come to them and he would say to them, hey, how are you coming along with that? And I read this in an empirical, I forgot the name of the book, Empirical Validation, I think it was. And he would say, hey, how are you coming along with the iPod, right? With the iPod, because that's obsolete these days. We don't know what an iPod is. Everything's in our phone. We have even more advanced. But we went from a record player to a CD to an iPod, an iPod that held over 1,000 songs. You remember that, right, Lisa?
Yes, I do.
And he would go to his engineers and he would say, how are you coming along? And they would come back to him and show him or say, hey, here's what we got so far. And Steve Jobs, being the brilliant mind that he was, he would say, is that the best you can do? And that would pattern interrupt these people. And they would go back and get better. And they come back and they show him and he said, is that the best? That was his question. Is that the best you can do? And they would go back, work on it some more. And, he wasn't saying, my hallucination is that he wasn't saying it to demotivate these people. He was saying that he understood something about the human being. He was pushing them for excellence. Is that the best?
Mm-hmm.
So vision, right? Because he had a vision in his head of what he wanted for this thing. So it always starts with the what. It always starts with the what, right, Lisa? What are your thoughts?
Yes, absolutely. We have to have a clear vision to know where we're going. And as you say, Martin, clarity is power.
Clarity is power.
And that's been something that this year, I personally have been focused on, just getting clear. It's one of the the things that kind of replay in my mind is at the forefront. So especially with goal setting, when we're choosing the goals that we want to set, it's important to be absolutely clear on your desired outcome, especially during a time like this, and if we can sit down and really think about, yes, how can we make things better? How can we fine tune during this time so that we can still make progress and actually grow during this time? And ladies and gentlemen, it is not impossible. Anything is possible. So many millionaires are made during these times of economic downturn. So it's very possible. So are we doing our best? Are we challenging ourselves? Are we putting ourselves in position to catapult? And that's very, very important. So I'm glad you brought up the Steve Jobs story because it's so inspirational. And I think it's what people need right now.
Yeah, yeah. And I want to leave people with this. If whatever the mind, Napoleon Hill said that whatever the mind can conceive, you can achieve. And as we're in this pandemic, think about for a moment that the actions that you do today, even if you're quarantined or home or whatever, what you're doing right now, your actions, your thoughts, along with your actions, will determine your outcome in 30 days, ladies and gentlemen. So pay attention to what you're doing, pay attention to what you're thinking, pay attention to how you're directing your energy, pay attention to the questions you're asking. Are you taking the time to get clear? Are you spending even 20 minutes? We have time now. We like to, whether we admit that or not, if you're quarantined or you're living in the United States, you probably have time. But you're taking at least 20 minutes a day to think, hey, at the end of this, how can I be better? How can I improve? And where is my ethical opportunity in this whole mayhem, through this all this time of chaos? So any last words, Lisa?
I just want to encourage everyone to keep moving forward. Definitely think outside the box at this time. I know that a lot of people are worried about their finances and what's going to happen because a lot of people can't be at work. But just think outside the box. Think about how you can provide goods or services that are needed during this time. So I don't know if anyone's, looking closely at the news, but Governor Andrew Cuomo of New York State is offering startup funds for people to start manufacturing medical supplies, masks and gloves and hospital gowns, things that are really needed during this time. And he said that he will be, providing startup funds for people if they could actually, put their minds and their efforts to work and create these things that are needed. So guys, just so many opportunities right now. Stay focused, stay positive, keep your minds clear, your thoughts clear, and write those goals down because there's power in writing them down. We can bring them to actualization when we do that.
Yep, right. And if you're watching this and it's maybe a year or two down the road, there's always opportunity at all times. There's always opportunity if you're asking the right questions, if you're seeking, right? If you seek, ye shall find. If you knock, the door shall open. And if you ask, it shall be given unto you. I want to leave you guys with that, and we'll see you soon. Thank you for watching the Elite Mastermind Show. We're here to bring you some good vibes and good news. Stay safe, stay healthy, and stay safe.